I cherish it because it's so different to the way California studios and like non-Italians design cars. Like we had a packaging class, which is like more engineering, where you put the engine, how does a person sit in it? And, you know, priority should be user comfort.
I know where this is going. Yeah.
And you have Italian cars.
Yeah,
you know they don't care.
Don't give a
Make
fuck,
it look good.
Dude. They don't care at all.
So that's a nice balance to like.
I've told this story a million times, but it only takes 5 seconds, and I'll tell you, I was testing the Aventador S at the launch in like 2015, and the Italians were all there, and they're hilarious and they're great. And Lambo, like, they don't give a fuck. They're just whatever. And they go, how is it? And I go, it's just great. I go, I don't really fit in it so good. And they go, this is not the car's problem. Hey folks, welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. It's the summertime, and that means today's podcast is brought to you by ButcherBox. ButcherBox is the perfect service for the summer, because summer means grilling, and grilling means meats. And this summer, you can add some power players to your grilling lineup with ButcherBox. It's the subscription service that delivers high-quality meat and seafood right to your doorstep. You can choose from a carefully curated selection of 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, wild-caught seafood, and more. I love me some ribeyes. And although it's the summertime and I should be grilling them outside, I like to go with the reverse sear. I put them in the oven, a 240 oven. Actually, I use my toaster oven because it's the right size for me and my wife. Toaster oven, 240. About 30 to 40 minutes till I get to a 130 internal temperature, and then I sear it in the cast iron with some garlic, butter, and a sprig of rosemary. It is bomb. And then when I get that ground beef from ButcherBox, I blend up onions in the blender. You got to blend them because it like really unlocks that juice. And then it's just meat, onion, salt, pepper, and I go with the smash burger, mustard grilled on one side. It is the jam. And when I've got ButcherBox coming every month, I know I'm going to have meat in the freezer and ready to go. I just take it out, lay it on my granite countertop, and in about an hour or two, it is room temperature and good to eat. ButcherBox meat has no antibiotics or added hormones. It's packed fresh and shipped frozen for convenience, so you can save time on your next grocery store trip. You can customize your own box. You can go with one of theirs. Either way, you get exactly what you want, and it's an unbeatable value at less than $6 a meal on average. So get summer sizzling with this special ButcherBox deal for Smoking Tire listeners. Free bacon for the life of your membership, plus $10 off. You can sign up today at butcherbox.com/tire. And then use code TIRE to get a pack of free bacon in every box for the life of your membership, plus $10 off your first order. ButcherBox.com/tire, and then code TIRE to get a pack of free bacon in every box for the life of your membership, plus $10 off on the first order. So go to ButcherBox.com/tire and use code TIRE to claim this deal. Right? Right. Also brought to you today in part by Upside. Now look, from cringing at the pump to getting an eye-popping check at your favorite restaurant, inflation is hitting us all where it hurts, and sometimes it really hurts. That's why I started using Upside. It's an incredible app for anyone who buys gas, groceries, or dines out. With every purchase, I'm earning cash back thanks to Upside. Upside is super easy to use. You can just pull up the app. It tells you where the gas stations, the restaurants are that will accept you, and what the deal is that it's giving you. You know what you're getting into ahead of time, and with all the cash back I'm saving, I can buy more gas for my sports cars. Actually, who's kidding? I can just give it all to Donnie. Donnie just gets all my money right now. So to get started, download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play. Use promo code SMOKING and get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Next, claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. Check in at the business, pay as usual with a credit or debit card, and get paid. In comparison to credit card rewards or loyalty programs, you can earn 3 times more cash back with Upside, and you can cash out anytime into your bank account, PayPal, or you can get an e-gift card for Amazon or other brands. So download the free Upside app And use promo code SMOKING to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more using promo code SMOKING. Also brought to you today by Berryman Products. Look, here at Westside Collector Car Storage, where our studio is, we keep cars in long-term storage, and something that's important, not just keep their battery alive, not just keep their tires inflated, but keeping their fuel stabilized so these cars will run like clockwork when we go to start them up again. That's why we're using the Berryman 4-Step Professional Air and Fuel System Maintenance Kit. It cleans all major intake and fuel system components in all fuel-injected gas-powered vehicles, including modern direct-injected and turbocharged engines. Berryman 4-Step Air and Fuel Maintenance Kit improves hard starting, rough idle, poor fuel economy, power, and overall drivability, and the proprietary universal application system works with both air intake and manifold vacuum injection systems. It's safe on catalytic converters and oxygen sensors. Berryman products are all American made since 1918, and Berryman is available at your favorite automotive retailer or auto parts store. Just go to berrymanproducts.com to learn more. All right, on this show we are talking design. Nikita Bridan from Oil Stain Lab is in studio. Oil Stain Lab is an independent design firm that not only contributes their design services to other OEM and aftermarket companies, but also designs some of their own very cool builds. I found these guys on Instagram, and I thought what they were doing is really interesting, and I'm always interested to talk to designers and design-focused people. Nikita's got a great, cool story, and their builds are absolutely wild over at Oil Stain. So please welcome Nikita Bridan from Oil Stain Lab to the Smoking Tire Podcast. All right, so this is the show. This is it. We just fucking jump right in. It's it. We're here. All right. Thanks for coming down.
Appreciate you having me.
That 2002 is pretty cool looking.
It is, yeah. It's got a 6-cylinder, and it's
like
built
from an E30 or from something.
Yeah, it's started life as an M25 IS motor, but now it's 2.9 liters.
Oh,
so
strokers are good.
Yeah. It's built as a daily commuter, and it's got like just oversized radiator, like deal with LA traffic that I had here coming here. So,
but yeah, if you want to do a commuter vintage car, you got to do those crucial upgrades.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Does it have like slicks on it too? Like kind of
aggressive tires.
It's some real aggressive tires.
They're track tires,
like 888s or something on there.
They're soft.
Yeah.
Safety. You got to stop quick.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. No, I could, the building is pretty sound resistant, but certain cars you can hear is like, I know who's here now.
It used to be straight pipe. Now it's got a muffler because I was pissing my neighbors off. So
yeah, it's straight pipe. How old are you?
36 now.
All right.
Or no, 34.
Once you hit 30, straight piping cars is kind of dumb, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had a straight pipe Corvette, and it got stupid around my 28th
Valves.
birthday.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah. So I've seen you guys on Instagram for a long time. I just saw the half 11 in person.
Right.
And actually, what was so interesting about your Instagram was I didn't really understand what you did. I still am not entirely sure that I understand what you do
by design,
and I want to figure that out. But your Instagram is like, whoever is like photoshopping shit on your Instagram is pretty awesome, because I ran into one of your people. It was like a Japanese girl.
So that's probably Kira, my wife.
Oh, your wife. Okay, right.
Yeah,
like super Japanese, like Japanese.
She gets that a lot. She's Thai.
Oh, she's Thai. Oh, I'm sorry for that.
Everyone thinks she's Japanese.
I'm super fucking racist. Apparently, that's not a good way to start this. My apologies. Well, she was dressed like a fucking anime character.
Yeah, she gets Japanese all the time.
Okay, well, my apologies. She was very friendly.
Yes.
And I asked her, I was like, okay, what the fuck is going on with your Instagram page? You've got like what appear to be vintage photos of this car, but like, are those real? And she's like, no. And so with the half 11, which is a thing that you guys have built, I saw it in person. It's right there. That's a real photo from where I was standing. It's fucking crazy. But you appeared to have kind of created a backstory for it, right? With Photoshop. Is that accurate, or what is the deal with that? How does this work?
They're all scans from historic books that we found in libraries, so it all happened, Matt. Whatever she told you is not accurate.
Okay.
No, when the project started, it was just kind of like our creative outlet in a way, and we wanted to tell a story a different way and kind of interact with people that aren't just car people, like engine guys or transmission guys, or like throw codes around or whatever. So we came up with this idea to kind of, I guess it's a little bit of Hollywood storytelling, and it's also like we didn't have a car, right? And we knew it was going to take us a while to build it. So how do we keep people interested, engaged, and you know, sort of part of it? So in a way, you have to like engage with the content and be like, wait, is that real? Is that not real? So it forces you to, I guess, become part of the tribe, as we call it. Like, do you believe it? Do you not believe it? Do you want to believe it? Are you like completely incredulous and don't want to believe in myths? You know, so.
Well, it's an interesting concept. Right? Yeah, no, it's an interesting concept for sure. And whoever is actually doing the Photoshop is doing it in. Some of them are like really believable. Like they're really, especially on a little 2x2, you know, Instagram screen. If you look at it on a TV, it's a little different. But the idea of conceptualizing a car and then kind of creating the backstory, mythical, fictional version of it, and then having writing that goes along with it, because the caption will be like, here's the prototype Porsche half 11 seen in 1964, right, you know, alongside a 906 or 908 or whatever. And you fucking got me. I didn't know which way it went. I was like, is there some shit I didn't know here?
And some people get mad and some people like it, you know, so it's an interesting dynamic.
Well, it's fun. I mean, once I learned that it was not real history, I was like, oh, well, this is a kind of interesting. It's funny that someone would get mad.
Well, you know, Porsche purists are, you know,
but they suck. Those people stink.
It's one of the reasons we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, but but you actually have built some real cars.
Yeah.
But that's not really the thing that like you guys do, like. When I'm looking through your website, it's fucking wispy as fuck. It's like creating dreams and turning visions into reality. It almost sounds like it's complete bullshit, to be honest with you. Like it sounds like it's like what would you say you do here? So like, how does this work?
That's our motto, actually.
Yeah. No, but like it's design.
Yeah.
But for clients.
Yeah.
So how does that work? How is that a job?
Okay, so
I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm envious. I'm curious. So
by trade, my brother and I run the company. So him and I started Oil Stain Lab about 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago. It's been a dream for a long, long time. By trade, we're automotive designers. So we worked for the big OEMs.
Like Art Center?
Went to Art Center. Yeah, studied in Italy, then came to Art Center at 17, and then been here ever since.
Studied in Italy first, and then went to Art Center.
Yeah. Quit high school, dropped out of high school to go study car design in Italy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That is awesome.
That's pretty ballsy.
That's an option? God damn it.
Yeah. Were your parents like supportive of that plan?
I mean, they were
supportive enough.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't supposed to be car designers, but they're like, all right, let's do this. They'll get burnt out. They'll like become lawyers or doctors.
And what is the
they won't have any fun in Italy.
Like, this will be dumb.
What is the Italian Art Center like equivalent?
Well, there is no equivalent. Italy's it's crazy, but it's the school we went to was Istituto Europeo di Design, so IED. It's in Torino. So Ital Design.
They do some design in Torino, as it turns out.
Our main lecturer was Luca Bergogno, who I think is now chief at Pininfarina. Did the Battista and the Stratos and stuff. So
cool.
Yeah, it's a cool place to be.
No resume there.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's wild. And so that was your high school, like this, or part of your high school level.
Yeah, we were there when we were 15.
Wow.
So yeah, learning a new language.
That's intense. Was that taught all in Italian?
Yeah, it was all taught in Italian, and so we did, I think, 18 months there, and then basically ditched.
Okay, ditched.
We ditched. Yeah.
Like, was there a graduation that you should have done and didn't?
Yeah. So there's a final at the end of the year, and
you were like,
again, nothing against Italy, but they decided to push the final back 2 months because the students complained they didn't have enough time to finish the work.
Okay.
And so my brother and I finished the work, handed it in at the deadline that it was supposed to be, and then just went to Canada for our summer vacation, and then just never went back because it was just like.
Did they like mail you a grade like later?
Yeah, so my parents went back and like cleaned out the apartment and like got all our stuff because we had a bunch of like markers and paper and everything. So they gathered all that up, and then yeah,
that's funny.
Art Center.
I mean, it's kind of funny because like you could, it's like, does it matter if you get, what did you got of them? It's like, no, you went there. Like, that's it. Yeah. You just tell people you went there, and that's really enough. Like,
it was, I mean, I cherish it because it's so different to the way California studios and like non-Italians design cars. Like, we had a packaging class, which is like more engineering, where you put the engine, how does a person sit in it? And, you know, priority should be user comfort.
I know where this is going. Yeah.
And you have Italian cars.
Yeah,
you know they don't care.
Don't give a
Make
fuck,
it look good.
Dude. They don't care at all.
So that's a nice balance to like.
So like if you had a project where for that assignment and you had put the engine in, you know, a place where you're like, well, now we have a lot of leg room, and would they walk over and just go, no, redo, like, would they be like, no, this is wrong because this doesn't look, your proportions are going to be off or something, so shift this around, and you're like, but legroom, and they're like,
no, if it could be prettier and less comfortable, they will just go with prettier.
It wins every time.
They don't give a fuck.
Love that place.
I've told the story a million times, but it only takes 5 seconds, and I'll tell you, I was testing the Aventador S at the launch in like 2015, and the Italians were all there, and they're hilarious and they're great, and Lambo, like, they don't give a fuck. They're just whatever. And they go, how is it? And I go, it's just great. I go, I don't really fit in it so good. And they go, this is not the car's problem. So it's like this. And yeah, go back 30 years, it's the same shit. They haven't changed their attitude at all.
Well, the Germans are in there now, so they're making things better. But yeah, before like 1970, holy crap.
No, they don't care at all. So did you get into Art Center first, and that was when you decided to come back, or was it just the program ended, so you were going to go back to Canada?
Well, no. So it was a 3-year program in Italy, but just that experience of like, I guess, a lack of professionalism or a lack of like standards kind of put us off. So we went back to Canada. Art Center's so expensive. Like, my parents were like, "Are you sure you want to not be a lawyer?"
Yeah. And this costs as much as law school. Yeah, and there's no money at the other end of it.
It's crazy expensive. And so yeah, at that point we were like 16 or whatever, 17. So we applied and then somehow got in.
Both of you?
Both of us, yeah. So my brother and I both got
twins?
in. We are twins,
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the rumor was, we were Russian blonde twins, so who knows, you know?
Yeah, right. Somebody wrote a check that we can't.
So who knows?
Someone got a Fabergé egg out this bitch. I don't know.
Yeah.
So what, did you have similar aesthetics? Did your designs, were you drawn to similar types of design, both of you guys, or did your stuff look radically different from each other?
That's a difficult question because I think if you ask the instructors, they always try to clump us together. I think we have a similar approach and like a similar feel for what good design is or what aesthetically is beautiful, but I think we come up with different solutions, and on the face of it, we always put up a unified front, but behind doors, like, there's a lot of argument and a lot of like, I completely disagree, you're an idiot. You know?
Do you have are some of your favorite cars in terms of design over history very different from your brother?
No, I don't think so. I think amongst designers generally we all gravitate towards the same cars, like proportions and the
Volkswagen thing, stuff like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Big rule of thirds guy.
Yeah, golden ratios, all sorts of stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, we definitely differ on some stuff, but we are fairly, I guess, similar or fairly. We like to come to a conclusion, and then we know that if 2 people agree, then we must be right.
Yeah. Was everyone we've ever talked to who went to Art Center universally said it's brutally hard. Like, the workloads are insane. the challenges that they give you are insane. You know, very rewarding, but brutally hard. Do you think that's accurate?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a saying, I think even, or a statistic, that's harder to get into the NBA, or harder to become a car designer than to get in the NBA. I don't know if that's true, but dropout rates are insane. I mean, our class started, I think, close to like 40 people. I think 3 made it through to the end.
That's really...
Yeah.
That is some attrition.
And
so the graduation is like fucking 6 minutes.
It's it's
so close.
It's small. And then even among those that graduate, like maybe 1 or 2 get a job as an OEM designer, and the other guys will go and design at a wheel company or do products, or go back to the country where they originated from, whether it's Japan, and like work there. I mean, obviously everyone wants to be in California. Like that's the golden place to be a car designer.
Yeah, and you do 4 years in Pasadena, and you're like, oh, this is all right.
That campus is beautiful.
I can fuck with this. Yeah, it is. Go back to fucking Canada after that is not so so desirable.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I love Canada, but come on,
no comparison.
Did you want to be an OEM designer? Or did you have a project, something like this, being a little more independent in mind?
No, I mean, for me, the dream, honestly, my dream was Volkswagen. And then I interned there, and then I changed my dream.
A little too corporate?
Very corporate, yeah, very corporate. It was also a really tough time. I was there during the meltdown of '08.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And yeah, they like fired half the staff, and everyone's just walking out with boxes. Brutal time. Yeah. So no fun. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to be an OEM designer because I just feel like, and I wanted to work for a company that did a lot of products. So like pickup trucks, SUVs, everything.
Is that why you were drawn to Volkswagen? Because they have so many products under their umbrella? Like what drew you to them as that's the dream instead of Ferrari or something?
Yeah, Santa Monica studio at the time when I was there, they were doing Bugatti, Chiron proposals, Lamborghini guys were there, Audi, Volkswagen, Bentley, doing Phaeton.
So you were most attracted to the Volkswagen group, not necessarily Volkswagen, the manufacturer. Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, Volkswagens were like cookie cutter then.
Yeah, but I don't, so I could see, like, I love the Rabbit, I love whatever. That's why I was curious.
Yeah, I just think they also have so much history, right? And so many iconic cars, whether it's the Beetle, obviously the van finally made it out. Gosh, they've been doing van concepts for 20 years.
It's weird. Isn't it strange it took them that long to figure it out? I don't know. I'm sure there's a very good reason.
Cost.
You think so?
Cost and safety, yeah, crash.
Oh, because to do like a cab over type design is very...
Yeah, so the original microbus concept, I think it was like 2000, the one everyone loved universally. Like that almost hit market. There was like a pre-production model. I think it was going to be like 55,000, which back then was like
a lot
of money. An M5 or something.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. Yeah.
So now,
but I imagine like the fucking... The irony is probably like the boomers who would have been buying it probably could have afforded it. Yeah, that thing. That's a very nice design.
It's great.
It looks really cool. Even like, fuck, that's 21 years ago.
Yeah.
Like you put that on a stage today and you go, yeah, okay, I get it. That lines up. That design totally tracks. Yeah. What's the current one, Zach? Can we?
Oh, the Buzz.
What's the ID Buzz? Is that what it's called?
I think so. Yeah.
That's a stupid name. Just stick with microbus. You know. ID. I mean, it's, you know what, the ID Buzz has a lot of elements of that 2001 concept in it.
Right.
Other than some two-tone paint and like headlight treatment.
Well, the other one was two-tone too.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. They use it to fake a shoulder.
Oh yeah, that's a good strategy. Yeah. It works. Cool. So once you decided maybe not Volkswagen, then was it, well, maybe Ford or maybe GM or maybe something like that, or was it there's another plan here?
Yeah, so also one thing you realize as a design student is like you think you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, you're going to revolutionize everything, you know, like these guys obviously suck, that's why production cars are terrible, they don't know what they're doing. And that's me, younger, arrogant me. And then yeah, so after the internship you realize like, holy crap, there's so many talented people, and maybe like 1% gets out. And oftentimes they pick literally the worst cars and they all get through. And like the best stuff is just sitting there, you know, just.
And there's other constraints that maybe you haven't necessarily as a pure designer considered, right?
Right, of course.
Whether it's cost or crash standards or materials or whatever, right?
Exactly. Yeah, battling for cents on production bumpers or something. Yeah, there's so much that goes into it. But then there's that realization, and then, you know, so then you're like, struggling companies struggle for a reason, you know, and successful companies are successful for a reason. So after graduating, my brother and I both got a bunch of offers to go together, actually. Because a few companies were like, well, 1 + 1, I guess it's 3. I don't know. That was like their thinking, like we're stronger together. So we ended up at Toyota Advanced Design in Newport Beach.
Newport Beach is all right.
Yeah, it was a good place. It was a little bit of a shock having a bunch of student debt and like trying to find a place to
live in Newport Beach.
And like pay off the student loans.
Well, the smallest apartment we have is a 3-bedroom house, you know, with 1 helicopter pad.
Yeah, so it was interesting, and like, yeah, basically my brother and I just like ate Caesar salad like every day because that's like the cheapest thing you can pretty much have.
I love how that's the most like Newport budget meal ever. Actually, is the Caesar salad.
So yeah, we did that for a little bit, and the reason we went there is just like nobody knows what Toyota does, and it's like they have this entire advanced studio, and it's like very mysterious, very secretive. No one really knew who kind of worked there or how things worked. Also, my best friend was there, Mike Kim. So yeah, we're just like, let's do a reunion, you know.
Was it more when you got there? Was it more interesting than a layperson might expect from Toyota, or was it same kind of deal at Volkswagen?
Yeah, no, it was absolutely crazy. They did have an HR department, which sucked a little bit of the fun out of it, but you know, car design's changed since the 70s when it was just drinking and smoking.
Yeah. You can't have like a bottle of scotch and a cigar at your like sketch table, as it turns out.
Yeah, it's not Mad Men, but yeah, so the projects we worked on were really, really crazy. It was like the start of kind of electrification and platforms, and they have so much money. It's like no idea was too crazy. We built internal show cars that, you know, were super wacky and funky, and yeah, it was great. We learned a lot.
Do you find like with those show cars, and you go to the Geneva show or any of these shows, and you see a show car, and it's just fucking off the wall. I mean, it's a spaceship. Right. You know, it's like. And people like me, who I'm a real enthusiast, and I look at this car and I go, what are you gonna pull out of that and go for and put in production? Because this is not a car. This is like a bubble with like fucking fins on it and like
that crazy. It was a Mazda that looked like it was from the year 2070.
Oh, the Furai? I loved the Furai.
Right.
The Furai was cool.
Or the Takai. I think the one with the really skinny rear tires and like no underbody.
Oh yeah.
That thing was crazy.
They've had a bunch of crazy shit. But is that kind of stuff, what is the purpose of that other than letting the designers play? Taki, the Mazda Taki.
Yeah, that thing's wild.
Yeah. That had the Furai nose on it, but then they tried to make it like an eco car, kind of.
Yeah, well, I mean, this started their whole design movement, right? And then eventually, what did we get? We got a minivan with ripples in the body side. You remember that?
Yeah, the ripples were all that really made it, right?
So, yeah. But a lot of this stuff is, you need a lot of like development and strategy to figure out where you want to be in 10 years in terms of like headlights. Like this car has no headlights. So I'm sure they had some sort of idea of where they need to push development to make like really slim headlights. That takes years, you know, and it's like a company has to invest $1 billion in 7 years to get lights like Audi did, but Audi did it 20 years ago, you know, so now you got to catch up. And then there's all sorts of all the interior UI, UX design stuff. Same thing, like you need the right partners, you need the right coders, the engineers, and like building up those teams. So these projects are supposed to just get people excited and out of their dull,
I get it,
Honda Civic designing time days.
Whatever. Yeah. So at Toyota, did you what was the workday like?
Yeah, I mean we'd get in fairly early, you know, because again we're eager young designers, eager to change the world, and at the time they were developing LFLC, the coupe, which was really cool, cool to watch that. Ian and Eddie were battling it out. There's a lot of tension there, but the car turned out great. CHR was under development, so that was my buddies, Mike Kim's theme, and they were doing scale models and stuff. And then they dropped my brother and I on a number of projects. One was FRS derivatives.
Okay.
So sedans, shooting brakes, stuff like that. So
that must have been kind of interesting.
It was, yeah. It was fun.
So they gave you the proportions, interior, and powertrain layout of an FRS and said, what else can you do with this package?
Yeah, and you do a little bit of research to like justify variants and like what does the customer want, and you know, a lot of what designers do is like pretend to be someone else.
Right.
And you need to create these stories.
Let's say I was a surfer in Malibu. And let's say I was a skier in Colorado.
So you never want to design a car for yourself.
Right.
But yeah, like later at Honda, like they would literally strap like a thing on your stomach and you would pretend to be a pregnant woman, right? It's like, that's the kind of depth that you're supposed to go into. And then at Toyota, another really fun project we did was the future of fun driving.
Okay.
And we were supposed to develop something for kids that basically grew up on, you know, iPhones, and what would get them to want to drive and to avoid autonomous cars. And so that was a really fun project where we kind of developed an entire story and like levels, progression, gamification. How do you entice people? How do you maybe make the car almost free to own? There's a lot of like really big, deep ideas that.
Well, that goes far beyond just like drawing or modeling.
Right.
You know, that's like conceptualizing. That's a whole different. Yeah. It's like a different part of your brain.
No, I mean, I don't know if it's. I mean, that's what all the projects I've always done are very sort of advanced and far-reaching, and to me, it just seems logical to understand the world that your car will be in. Because as car designers, even like a production program that you're working on, be on the street in 7 years. Or 6 years, you know. Now development times are getting quicker. In China, they're doing it in like 24 months, but, you know, that's unsustainable in my opinion.
Yeah, the QC might be a little lacking if they're doing it in 24 months. I don't know, just a guess. But
yeah,
have you messed with any Chinese cars yet?
We did. So my brother and I both worked, and we've consulted and worked for some Chinese companies, and it's a very different process than what we do here. It's intense.
Have you gotten to see or play with any of the finished product?
My brother's been over there. I haven't. Yeah.
I really want to try some Chinese cars.
They're like incredible products, and they're super cheap. We have a lot of like design chiefs that are from like Volvo and Audi. They all work over there. So they know. I mean, yeah, it takes time to put in the factories and the systems and the materials, but I'd say they're pretty good these days.
You think they're catching up?
I would say, like, I mean, you can get a car with 600-mile range for like 30 grand over there.
Yeah, that's...
And the quality is, according to our old interior boss, on par with the European manufacturers.
Really?
So...
That's, I mean, that seems pretty impressive.
I'd say they passed us.
From like a BYD or one of those kind of companies?
Yeah, so there's, one was GAC. They're, forget what it was called, but it was a GAC like sedan. And I think it's crazy. Like, the government, I mean, it's partially government owned, and they just dump money into it, and they don't care. They don't take no as an answer. You're just like, no, we can't. Like, what do you mean no?
and they probably, I would imagine they can pay some of their workers less than a European company could. But because China also has such a huge history of being a manufacturer and supplier of everything, of screens and widgets and all these things, like they have the capacity to build whatever you know that company could need. I mean, those two together, that's a pretty unstoppable force.
Yeah, and like 10 years ago, they were on a hiring like mania. They were paying people 3 times their salary to come over to China. You know, so it's like a lot of people, Europeans, Westerners, you know, in the auto industry, just all migrated there. And of course, they took all the intellectual property with them. Also, to sell cars in China, you need to be like part owned by Chinese companies. So that means they get all your information anyway.
Wow.
It's funny. One of our designers, when we were at GAC, went over to GAC. And in the studio, they had a pre-production Honda Civic that just came out now. But it was in the studio 2 years ago.
Huh.
Like... Because they build those cars for Honda
in China. So they had the right to just have it. And like, now they're just reverse engineering that thing for like,
they don't care.
Other brand. No, that's very interesting. Yeah. How about that?
Sketchy.
Yeah. Of like the current gen Civic that we have here. Yeah. Do you see the new Type R?
I did, last night. Got on
kind of meh.
It's interesting.
I like it.
You like it?
Because I thought the last one was just too much. I mean, people have heard me say that many times. So I think the new one, when I saw the new Civic Si that you drove, I was like, that's a handsome-looking vehicle. And then if this one drives as well as the last one,
I think they underdid the front bumper a little bit. I think the front bumper was a little dull, and they could have found. They didn't need to be a shredder helmet like the last one, but they could have found a couple ways. And I'm Monday morning quarterbacking it, but we happen to have a car designer here. We could talk about. I think the front bumper is a little dull. What do you think?
I mean, it's interesting that they would pull back from their previous thesis was that people that buy those cars want people to know that it's the performance variant.
Right.
You know? So it's interesting that they pulled back. I mean, I'm with you. I think it's a little too timid, personally. Because, I mean, who
wants a Type R that's not aggressive?
Right.
The custom, like, we were
Is
like...
that Acura?
Yeah. Yes, actually. Yeah. Yeah, the Civic Type R will be what? The Acura Type S, or like, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I would take that. But
I think that spoiler is like 10 years old. Like,
the wing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like, Jesus.
Yeah. I think the SI looks good. I really do. But I think they could go a little more aggressive on the Type R, and that would be okay.
See, I just wanted to compare back to back, and I would say, yeah, you have a point that the front bumper of the SI is very similar.
Yeah,
with the opening.
It's not a very big change.
Yeah, I think I was so relieved that the new Type R doesn't look like the old one.
Like from the mirrors back, I think it's all right. Although that wing is a little glued on, and I like how the wheels look. But I think the front's a little.
What do they do on the back bumper, like exhaust?
Do we have a lower rear valance shot?
I'll find one.
We'll find one in a minute. But so anyway, back to the main crux of our story here. So at what point did the OEM work become no longer either enjoyable or profitable, or what made you guys bail out and start this 3 years ago?
Yeah. So after a year at Toyota, we moved to Honda, and that's when we actually started Oil Stain Lab.
As a side project?
Yeah. The only problem was we quickly realized we're Canadian. We're not allowed to have our own business based on our visa status.
Oh, yeah, that could be an issue.
So we quickly shut that down because that was an illegal business. But the idea started to like percolate there, like what we would do. The name already was there. It was Oil Stain Lab back then. And then it took us, I think, another 8 years to basically get green cards, and then we started.
Wow. So you had that idea for 8 years, and you're like, we just got to get these cards.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Patience.
Yeah.
And running that business out of Canada, no dice there?
It gets weird with like taxes and stuff, and yeah. So we were just like, all right, let's just learn as much as we can about this entire industry and get as good as we can, and then we'll just take that and we'll apply it.
So were you at Honda the whole time you were doing that?
No. So we were both at Honda for 3 years. I was there for 3 years. My brother continued to stay there because they basically paid for his green card. So he stayed there until he got that. And then during that time, we did some concept cars for them, like the CRV, the RDX, my brother's designs. MDX is like my theme. So we worked on like a bunch of production programs. And
did you do the current MDX?
It was my theme, so I didn't finish it because it takes a long time. I quit a long time before that. But yeah, the front end is like we do like quarter scale models, and so that front end is like exactly the same. It's kind of
current
crazy.
MDX is a nice car.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a good job. Like we pushed really hard to simplify things. Just like we do simple.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that our trend forecasting, which we thought like cars will get simpler. Let's do that, and it worked out. So yeah, they did a really good job, the entire team.
The Type S is actually pretty nice. We had one for a week. It was a nice little car.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good to hear that.
Yeah, it was. Do you enjoy the model making part of it as well? What's your favorite part? Is it drawing or model making or just thinking about futurisms?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's the entire process and like going through it all. The worst part is stopping halfway, which happens so many times. I'd say like 80% of the projects we work on, they just get axed or killed, or so that's the most frustrating part.
Like that product, you're like, let's say you're working on a crossover, and they're like, actually, we're not going to make this thing at all.
Yeah.
Or going with someone else's concept.
Or imagine the Volkswagen designers who worked on that bus for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, Yeah, sorry, out of money. Oh, sorry, priorities. Oh, now we're doing it electric, no more gas engines. Like, it's just, yeah, that's the really frustrating part is like 95% of what we do either never gets shown or it's in the dump over here, you know? And it's like, you're not allowed to show it. No one's allowed to see it. It's
our property to destroy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that sucks.
So that's why there's a great freedom in what you do now, because you can, and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like you can pick your projects, and then you also have these, I don't want to say pet project, but like the half 11, was that your idea with your brother? Like, we want to make this thing.
Yeah.
You get funding for it, and you're just like, we're building what we want to build.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, this is very liberating because, yeah, story's ours. Like, there's no real client for it. Like, we don't have to pretend to be anybody. That's why we actually made the backstory, because we're like, we need something to like kind of grasp onto. So, okay, it'll just fake 1960s race car.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's actually it's a good idea, and it's convincing if you don't know it's not real. And you know, having seen the I guess it's not finished, but the thing in the metal, it does look like something that Porsche could have built. I mean, it really it looks fucking. I was with Ben Collins, the Stig, and we walked up to it in the parking lot of the thing, and he goes, "Mate, you're fucking dead in this thing, mate." He goes, "This is a fucking death trap right here." I go, "Yeah, but it's cool as fuck. I kind of want to like roll it around a little bit. Like, I definitely find it like visually very appealing, and it looks like if you had turned a 911 into a Can-Am car, but basically."
Yeah, I mean, part of that story is there were two racing classes back in the 60s, and the GT40 raced in those two classes. Porsche only raced in the prototype class, and they were getting smashed by basically GT40s in sports car and GT40 in prototype. And so the idea would have been, this is a development of the 911 sports car platform, and, you know, to take on the GT40. So it's very limiting for us as designers. Like, we had to stick with the body side and the headlights and the shape and the proportions, but it's also very... It's like fun when you solve those design problems and it looks okay, and you're just like, oh, cool. You know,
it looks real cool. I mean, Ben wasn't wrong. It does look like a death trap, but it does. But all Can-Am cars from that period are death traps. That's certainly not exclusive to this by any means.
They just got seatbelts like 5 years before that. You know?
No, in a car like this, you definitely want to be thrown clear. You don't want to die. What is there's a V8 engine in the back of this, right?
It is, yeah. So for the prototype car, we're basically just using an LS that's, you know, custom built, dry sumped, bunch of custom parts on it.
Cool bundle of snakes headers.
Yeah, so those are 3D printed.
Are they?
Yeah, that's 3D printed in Canal. It's DLM printed, so there's only like 2 companies in the world that are really doing that.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
They're fucking expensive. I know, because someone was going to make me a set for another car, and they are very expensive.
Yeah.
But awesome.
I mean, it collects 8 to 1 essentially. Well, you know,
it is 8 to 1. Yeah. Ultimately, that's one tip. That's 8 to 1.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a 1 millimeter wall thickness. It's pretty lightweight. Inconel, of course, has that special little tingy sound to it. So, yeah, they're like pretty unique piece, and it's like it's like the whole project. You know, it mixes like high tech and handmade shit together. So,
and it's a completely it's a tube frame car, right?
It's not.
It's not?
Technically, it's the half 11. So it uses half of a 911 tub. It's registered, street registered now, legal as a 1966 912. Not a 911, but, you know.
Whatever. Fucking Huna Pegasus is a 912 too.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So the guy who did the tube frame for Huna Pegasus is Joe Scarbo.
Oh, yeah.
He did the tube frame for us as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
That guy's a genius.
This isn't as much of a death trap as you think it is.
Yeah, no. That's true. Joe is a guy who knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually is.
Well, it appears you guys are doing a lot of testing. Like, you have shots here of, you know, car without the body being tested at like Willow Springs and whatnot. So when you guys approached the design, do you have the background in engineering and pickup points and geometry and all that stuff too, or did you kind of have the idea, concept, and size, and you went to someone like Joe and said, "Can you help make this thing turn and perform correctly?" And then you worked together? Yeah.
So at the start of this project, like, I didn't know how to weld. I didn't know how to do anything, pretty much, and we've been learning it all slowly. We have a lot of experience with like modern engineering, but this is like 1960s like F1 like trailing arms on the back. Like, it's not It's not something, you know, that we would care about in a modern car design. So we just learned all about that, and we created all our own tube frames and then used like 3D software to test it for strength. And then you go to a professional and be like, hey, can you validate this? Like, how far off am I? And then, of course, we talk with Joe, and Joe wants to make a really ugly tube frame, and I'm a designer, and I'm like, no, we're not putting tubes there. And he's like, those are dead tubes. You can't do that. And then I compromise because safety is more important than...
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been every single person we've kind of tried to learn. Like with metal shaping, we took the metal shaping classes. We tried to learn how to metal shape. We formed some of those panels. And then, of course, there's an expert that actually does it. So it's like a... I don't know, experience. Like we're making it an experience for ourselves.
Dude, that's so cool.
That's awesome. What is the what was the hardest thing to learn?
Hardest thing to learn. Honestly, I think it's metal shaping. I think it's just so bizarre the amount of energy required to like take a flat 4x8 sheet of metal and make like a fender or like a headlight surround, and it takes so much energy and work, and then you hit it over here and then it does something over here and you're just like, what the hell? It was perfect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think even, I guess, all real metal shapers kind of struggle with that as well. Except maybe the guys like worked at Lotus in like the 60s that were just like chain smoking. They knew exactly what they were doing. But
the smoking actually makes you better.
Yeah, I think it's a long lost art.
You get some carbon in that aluminum, you know,
right. Softens it up.
Carbonizing it a little bit. Yeah. Have you talked to like guys like Runge, like Chris Runge?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
it's got a very Runge vibe.
Yeah, Runge, and then Spectre out in Utah. Yeah, so we have our little Porsche metal shaping gang.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and I'm not a purist by any means, but is the plan ultimately to go from an LS to like some kind of a Porsche based V8, like out of a 928 or out of like a fucking Panamera or something, or does it even matter? Yeah.
So I mean, we investigated those engines, and originally the plan was
a flat engine.
Cayenne or 928, and then we got the measurements. We're like, holy crap, this is like...
They're huge, right?
They're huge. Yeah. There's nothing you could do with it. So it'll be flat sixes, air-cooled or water-cooled. And then we're in talks with a couple of people about... no more phone. Some really interesting engines, like big displacement air-cooled engines, flat eights. The prices are quite high.
Yeah.
So it's like...
I mean, even like basic flat six engines are crazy expensive.
Yeah, I mean,
unless you went like a Subaru or something, but
no, we'd never do that. No. But yeah, I mean, honestly, this LS engine probably costs as much as like an air-cooled 993 motor. But the idea was to, I mean, not really to equate it, but like McLaren F1 used a big block to test their transmission and their chassis, and that's what we wanted to do. Because really, the one unknown about this project is our chassis. Like, will it handle okay? Will it not?
How's it drive?
It drives pretty good.
It's got really wide front tires.
It does, yeah. They're 11s.
Yeah, which it's,
what are the rears? Because
the rears got to be 13s or something.
14s.
Right? 14.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
So they were custom made for us by Rotiform, and I guess the best way to describe it is like a shifter car, like a big shifter car. Like it's all mechanical grip. I've only driven it fast at Streets of Willow with no bodywork, and we got up to like 145 on the front straight.
Wow!
And ran like a one.
Streets, that's really fast.
I think we ran a 118 or something
with no fucking bodywork.
No bodywork,
awesome.
And that was our first time at speed. That was me driving, and I'm pretty sure like a guy like Ben or real driver.
Really fast.
Yeah, it was the fastest car at the track. So
that's really fast.
But it should be.
It should be, but it also speaks to, I guess, the engineering and everything else you've put into it. The fact that you got in, felt comfortable to drive that quickly, that feeling must have been amazing.
Yeah, the track organizers we were at with Race Car Party, they were not comfortable with us going that fast.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, we're there. If you were at like a track day, with like other people, and the car had no body work on it, I would not be comfortable either.
Yeah, there were GT3s, GT2s on track.
If I was writing, if I was paying the premium on that insurance policy, I'd be like, get these fucking lunatics off the track immediately.
Yeah, we even gave some passenger rides.
Yeah,
those were slower. Those were slower.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah, that other air-cooled car you've got is very nice. The RSR tribute kind of deal.
Yeah, we call it the graffiti car. So Andrew,
it is graffitied.
Color Cartel did it at a track day, so it was kind of part of this track day event, and dude smoked some weed and tagged the car.
Pulled out some spray cans, and it looks pretty good, actually. I thought I saw that at Hypercar as well, and it's got a real 70s kind of art car vibe to it. It does work with the style, but so I'm just really shocked that car was. I mean, it's got a lot of power. Obviously, it doesn't weigh anything, but but that it's sorted enough to run a 118 at Streets of Willow and crack 145 on the front. Like, that's what I was doing in like the GT4 RS.
Right.
Like,
well, what does this thing weigh? Nothing, right?
It weighs, with me in it, I think it's 1950.
Yeah, it's
pounds,
nothing.
and it's got 650 horse.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So is this? I mean, you referred to this as a development prototype.
Yes.
So are you then going to try to build another one that's a little more finished, or are you going to try to sell these to people, or what do you do? Like, what do you do with it after that? I mean, it's a cool billboard, admittedly. I'd never heard of you guys before I saw this thing, and then I was like, oh, what are these guys doing? But besides that, is that the point of it?
Well, so it started as like a fun project that we had no intentions of ever becoming anything commercial. It was just completely like.
That's what Rob Dickinson said about his orange fucking car in 2005.
Right. Yeah. And then people just started reaching out and like wanting them. And then we're like, wait, so actually people, like, we're designers. We're kind of like, we hate everything we do in a way. Like, we're our worst critics. We just thought it was like some junkyard dog thing that we're doing. And then people started reaching out, and then other people were like, wanted to put down like crazy deposits, crazy deposits, and we're just like, no, we don't want any pressure, like, just let us do our thing. So the plan going forward is going to be develop this, make it a coupe, so we can basically design the door systems and everything and make sure you can get in and out. And this car is tiny. It's smaller than an air-cooled old 911. Like, it's so small. I think it's 31 inches or something to the roll bar.
Yeah, it's really low.
Tiny.
Yeah.
It's tiny. So we're in the process of basically, if it's going to be a commercial thing, we need to make it bigger, a little bit bigger.
Like 10% bigger kind of thing? Is that a lot? Is 10% a lot?
That's the exact number, so you nailed it. So yeah, it's going to be 10% bigger, and then we're just... These things are so hard to build, and there's so much custom work. It would take like 3 years if somebody put down a deposit, right? So it's like, it's maybe not the best business model for a young company to do that. So we're going to make them easier to build, let's say.
Yeah. Could you like license the design to Rungi or something like that? Or is that...
We could work out a deal or something. We're trying to figure out what the best strategy is right now and how it fits inside legal frameworks and commercial stuff. So yeah, it's a very interesting time right now.
So that's amazing. I'm not surprised. As there are more options than ever for 7-figure, 1,000 horsepower plus, commercially produced hypercars, people are always looking to differentiate themselves, and 5 or 10 people have unlimited funds and want something analog and crazy and street legal, and handmade. And I'm not surprised you're getting phone calls. I mean, I'm not. And I'm not surprised people are offering you stupid money to build them one. That's totally what my experience has been with this type of stuff.
Right.
But this isn't the business. The business that you're in is being designers for hire, for other people.
Right.
So what does that business look like?
You wake up, you have a coffee, you pretend to be creative.
No, but like you worked on, for instance, the Ken Block Pikes Peak car, which will, as it turns out, race next year, I guess, with Batim over at BBI, who had very nice things to say about you guys. So that's a commercial project with a big dollar sponsor, right? And you've got Wheel Pros, and you've got Hoonigan, and you've got BBI, and you've got Mobile One, and you've got all this shit's got to come together. But still, you're able to build something that's supposed to look crazy, right?
Well, the interesting part about that build is it is actually supposed to look as boring as possible. That was the brief.
Really?
Fail.
Well, the package is so extreme, but the idea was, how do we make it look like a 911 as much as possible? So it's funny that it turned out the way it did, but it could have turned out like even crazier, more race car looking, like more raw. And we've sort of tried to imbue as much 911 DNA as possible.
I guess I would say you succeed in that, but like you said, the parts that have to be covered are so extreme that, like, if you look at it and squint a bit, you can see like how prototypes came to be and like how the 919 and stuff like that. You're like, oh, that's how it ended up that way. So
is that design? I mean, obviously it had a goal, right? Race up a hill. Yeah. You know, low air pressure and shit like that. But how constrained or free were you guys to create the visual aesthetic, besides the goal of make it look like a 911?
Yeah, well, I mean, so this project has its roots, I think if anyone's seen like the behind the scenes with BBI and Scarborough, they talk about it. It's like 3 years ago, we kind of designed a time attack street 911. It was very similar to this. So we used that as a reference point, and then kind of gave those surfaces to the aero guys. And then they came back with a bunch of changes, none that were making the car look any better. And so then we went back and forth. Again, it's like the wheelbase got stretched so far, it has nothing to do with a 911 at this point. If you look where the rear wheel is, like reference to the window.
The rear wheel is basically a trailer.
Yeah.
It's like you're towing your own.
So for us, the big challenge was just get the surfaces, the transitions, the proportions, and like we cheat the roofline a little, we cheat the fenders a little. And so when you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, it's a 911. But
it's really then a 911 greenhouse plopped on top of
other half things. 11.
The half 11 actually is not. Yeah, it's not far off.
I've got a picture of that front end on half 11.
Is it good, or is it way too much?
It looks pretty cool.
It does?
Yeah, they're similar widths, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
But yeah, we had a few cool ideas that unfortunately this was a very tight deadline. Like, you know, I think we spent 3 or 4 weeks just like staying up to like 3 or 4 a.m. like going back and forth in data and stuff. But yeah, we had a few cool ideas. Like we really wanted to do a perforated windscreen, so it didn't have a roof scoop. It had like air come through, and then that got vetoed because passenger headroom. But there's no passenger. I'm sure it was a time thing and a cost thing, but yeah, it was a super fun project. Really happy how it turned out too, for the most part. Of course,
as it turns out, the super tight deadlines and being competitive at Pikes Peak don't really go hand in hand. Fortunately, with another year of not necessarily design work, but engine development and testing and whatnot, they'll probably put on a good show next year. You know?
I mean, I think that program started like 4 weeks behind schedule.
Yeah.
And like you don't catch up behind schedule.
And plus, like we were there, like with the fog, it's not like, you know, the fastest cars didn't necessarily perform the best at that race.
Yeah, I mean, freaking stock turbo.
Fuck yeah, dude. Turns
Donner,
out 992 Turbo S is like really fucking fast in all conditions.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but this is still, you know, even though it's got commercial backing and even though it has a function as a race car, this is still kind of prototypey, conceptual stuff. What about things that are leaning a little more towards the commercial? Are you guys involved in that?
Yeah, so we are. A lot of that stuff's all behind NDAs, of course. Anytime it's a commercial interest, it's like, can't talk about it, you know. But it's stuff like hydrogen infrastructure, electric platforms, batteries, robotics, space. There's all sorts of stuff that we work on, but it's just, that's all I can say.
Well, very cool. I mean, that's pretty cool. It's interesting that is like, so in hindsight, the going independent was like the move, right? Because it keeps you always, you know, kind of doing different stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, designers come, or car designers come in like different groupings, and like some guys will only do cars and they're like very much a one-trick pony, right? Then there's other designers that just get bored of cars and they want to do other stuff. I think we fall into that category, not necessarily that cars are boring, but just we've done production cars, we've done show cars, we've done pretty much a lot of the stuff there is. And then you look at space and it's like, you know, who doesn't want to design like a spaceship,
right?
Know? Or like a robot? Like, how cool. I mean, I'd love to do some Hollywood stuff, but there's this whole guild and
unions.
Yeah. So I'm good just staying away from that for now. But yeah, I mean, you know, wheel design, stuff like that. People just come to us when they want to, I guess, like disrupt or get a different outlook on things. It's funny because it's like a lot of businesses will just build stuff and then sell it, and like, yeah, that works, but what about like the whole art direction and the strategy and the marketing, the branding? Like, we do all that as well. And it's a much more compelling story for the client or the user, the buyer, when everything makes sense in a way. And it's like increasingly a brand differentiator, you know, like having that cohesive thing all the way through. So we do a lot of that stuff as well. But yeah, I'm not really clearing things up for you.
No, I mean, I get it. There's certain, you know, a lot of the projects are in development or whatever. You can't give it away. But I think that it's interesting to, you know, to me, because usually, I mean, for a lot of folks I know, you know, we've had Jason Castriota on the show, and he's sort of worked for the OEM and then sort of opened his own company, but doing consulting and design back for the OEM. And he's done supercars, and he's done the Mach-E, which you know, which I've got one, and just the journey of someone who is really good at drawing cars, you know, is an interesting one, especially because it's what I wanted to do when I was a kid. Right. And I got really bad advice. People were like, oh, you want to design cars, you need to be a mechanical engineer, which is fucking horrid advice. Right. And it's what everybody told me. No one told me what, I didn't learn what Art Center was until I was like 26. Okay. And
still got time.
I know, right? If I want to wreck my life. So like, but who are some of your favorite designers of cars? Are you a Giugiaro guy? Are you a Gandini guy? You like Jay Mays? Like, who are you into?
Okay, so Jay Mays, read a book when I was young, and it was called American Car Design Now, and he talked about storytelling there. So everything I owe is basically to Jay Mays in terms of that. Not necessarily some of the designs or whatever, and it's, you know, car design's an interesting world. It's like who did what. Everybody gets credit for something.
Obviously, team efforts,
exactly.
but still, there's some influential names.
Yeah, so if we go way back, like, I think Gandini, yes, awesome, incredible. Giugiaro, a little bit less so, but he was a genius at commercializing designs. That's why he's designed like 1,000 cars. Yeah. But he also like recycled a lot of stuff. Like, he'd go pitch it to Volkswagen and they were like, no. And then he'd be like, oh, Toyota, do you want to do this? And then they build that car. Yeah. So yeah, Gandini for sure. Another guy, an American designer, Virgil Exner.
Oh yeah, for sure.
His designs are so iconic. You see an Exner car and you know that immediately. That's more like 50s, 60s.
Yeah. Were you into like the Motorama stuff too? That Motorama to me was like, whoa, this is the rocket age shit.
Yeah, so I worked at Cadillac for a few years, well, General Motors Advanced, and we did a show car, Cadillac Interspace.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you worked on that one?
Yeah.
Pull that up. This thing is fucking crazy looking. Yeah.
So that's
some like retro future Motorama stuff for sure.
We pushed so hard for the company to embrace its past and, like, not necessarily retro, but just like honor that optimism and that like America, like screw you, you know? Yeah. Because we were in meetings all the time for Buick and Cadillac, and they're like, Chinese garages are smaller than American garages. We need to make the car smaller. I was just like, you want an American car, build an American-sized garage, you know? Yeah. But yeah, I worked on this, and then a really talented designer finished it after.
Cadillac press room page stinks.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, look at that thing.
And then yeah, the photographers did an awesome job like capturing it with the whole retro sort of space aged clothing and stuff.
This was a cool one. I liked the Cadillac 16.
Yep.
The Cadillac, was it Cyan? Something like that?
Cyan, yeah.
Cyan.
For 100 years.
Yeah, really, really liked that. Yeah. Cadillac fucking nails concept cars. And it's not that it like, and I like some of the stuff that they built. CT5 Blackwing, well, fucking love it.
Right.
Love it. But like they just the real design of those concept cars never quite seems to make it to the production cars.
Yeah, this thing in person, it's 2-seater, 6.5 meters long.
Wow.
It's so over the top. Love it.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of that Maybach Accelero. Remember that thing?
Yeah,
that thing was badass.
Yeah, yeah.
They say Jay-Z bought that.
He could.
I mean, he probably could. I wonder if you could. I mean, you might be able to get some kind of show and display exception to drive something like that on the street, because I think underneath it was a regular old like S-Class or something.
Yeah.
You probably could
put dealer plates on it.
Probably. Yeah.
There you go.
So if you're Jay-Z, no plates, no problem, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah, this thing was really cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. It's got this. It's got the pop-up canopy, which is very aggressive.
This is the hardest thing to get through corporate, like. Just daily struggles with
for the pop-up canopy,
just everything. Yeah, it's just.
Were you like, dude, it's a concept. Like, just let us play.
Yeah, it was just.
Did it have no floor? Is that what I just saw? Like.
Oh yeah, the door when it opens, it's easier for you to get in. It's really low.
That's very cool.
It's really long. It's got 28-inch rims. Like it's absurd.
Yeah, ridiculous. It's very America.
Yes.
Yeah, that's super cool. The stuff from the 50s, that whole Motorama era was so wild, like the Firebird concepts and stuff, and even those buses.
Yeah, I mean they would bring those to the studio. Such an optimism and like a future. That it was cool, so cool. But
now, like the future is a lot of it is like eggs.
It's like one of the reasons I'm out of the OEM stuff. It's like how many toasters can we really do? Like honestly. They just change the angle this way a little bit.
Right. You don't have cafe MPG standards at your company. Like you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You're like, no, we're gonna go build this half 11.
We don't have a lot of standards.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that people are calling you about the half 11, it indicates a different type of opportunity, right? I mean, it would be. Yes, I understand. It'd be very hard for you to build 12 of those. Right. It would take a decade or something, and that makes sense for all the reasons that you stated. But it's also, you know, as you can buy not only more and more production grade supercars and stuff like that, and that those cars can be used as just regular cars. There's nothing like, you don't have to give anything up. It's not like dailing a Miura or something. You know, you also have this opportunity for a select group of people at a variety of price points. They're not all billionaires, but to build something that is like handmade, super analog, you know, and really like free with design, right?
Right. I mean, electrification is kind of standardizing performance in a way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we worked on like a city car had 600 horsepower electric. Like, okay, like 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. Like any car can do that now. So what's next?
Not only that, like we've discovered by driving a variety of electric cars to review that it used to be, you know, if you took a Mercedes V6 and a Chevy V6 and you drove those two cars, you would understand immediately why the Mercedes one was more expensive. It was smoother, it shifted gears smoother, it revved in a different way versus that real kind of agricultural Chevy Lumina, you know, whatever. But now my Ford versus a Taycan versus the EQS, the way they deliver power is fundamentally identical. You might have more, you might have less, but it's an electric power band. Right. So it's a really equalizing the bringing down the luxury brands, bringing up the more entry level brands, and they have to find other ways to justify the luxuriousness.
Yeah, and it's also like that connection to the car. So in a lot of meetings, we would discuss with electrification, like how do we put like faults into it, or like not make it perfect.
Gotta give it some character.
Yeah, exactly. Like little burbles or little like glitches or something to like break up that autonomy, monotony.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Got to make it worse to make it better.
Exactly. Give it character.
Just you have a little tank that just drips oil on the ground. You have to refill your fake oil tank to have it like leak. Well, they've got different like space Jetsons noises.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, when Lotus, the guys were over here a couple months ago and we had them on the show, and they came out to Cars and Coffee and they brought this dude, and he's a somebody in England. I didn't remember who he was.
Okay.
But he was like an electronic music artist in England.
Okay.
And his job was to write the soundtrack for the Amira, the Space Jetsons noises.
Nice.
And he like whatever the fuck noise this thing is going to make.
Yeah.
This dude was there to compose it.
Yeah, I mean BMW had Hans Zimmerman.
Hans Zimmer, he did?
Yeah, yeah. And have you seen that Alfa Romeo electric resto mod?
No.
Totem?
No. Is it cool?
Yeah, so he's a buddy, but they have, I think, 21 speakers and like 3 subwoofers and like 15 different noises that it can play.
There's a guy. What's the Totem? Totem Automobili. Oh, is it like a GTV?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Cool. There's a guy who comes to Cars and Coffee in Malibu who's got a Model 3.
Okay.
That's got every aftermarket thing on it that you can. It's got a body kit, and it's got rims, and it's got fucking graphics all over the place. And it plays out what sounds to me like a Shelby GT350 V8 engine sounds. And when he puts it in revert, it sounds like the thing is like revving and like like releasing a clutch. It sounds like a manual transmission Shelby GT350. Huh. And you look around, you're like, what the fuck car is making this noise? And it's this white Tesla.
So this is similar to that then, yeah.
Oh, that looks rowdy. It's got like the box flares on it.
Yeah.
It's got some angelized lights going on.
Yeah, interior is really cool. Seating position was, it's Italian.
I like those wheels are a fantastic interpretation of old school.
Yeah, there you go. That's his speaker system.
Yeah, exterior subwoofer, dude. 400-watt exterior subwoofer. Oh wow, it can play the sound, Zach.
Yep. Let me hang on.
Can we get some volume? We can play the sound. This is interesting. What do we got?
This is the future of our cars. There you go.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It sounds like an old Alfa, kind of. So what other, if you were to do your half 11 treatment to something else, fictional backstory, mythical prototype race car, lost and recovered, to something besides a 911, got anything else in mind?
Yes, we do. We have a few that we've kind of done already. So
okay,
I don't know. You might see it. It might pop up, and like if I tell you,
well, that would ruin it.
That would ruin the experience.
Well, I'll look out for strangely well done Photoshops.
No, I think we want to
look for fake history.
Yeah, we want to globetrot, so we want to go around the world. Toyota and Nissan have some really crazy old Can-Am cars that they built. We'd love to do something like that. My personal dream is Shadow. You know Shadow from the Can-Am series?
No. What's that?
They created, so I think it was a CIA agent who basically started a race team, and the name of the team was Shadow.
Look at this fucking thing.
And so they showed up to their first race.
Could be none more black.
Just wearing trench coats. Like no sponsorship, nothing, just trench coats. And everyone's like, what the hell's going on?
Under these coats,
because
I've got nothing on.
This was the time when, racing was like
car. Look at that thing.
Trading drugs, right?
Right.
Like half the teams were shipping drugs in their trailers. So everybody thought, they're like, holy crap, these guys are here to investigate.
I'm reading the Randy Lanier book right now. Nice. He wrote it with AJ Baim, and AJ is going to come on the show and talk about that in a couple months. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, check out that bottom left image with the dollar signs.
With the spats.
They should have the dollar signs. Yeah. So they ran dollar signs.
Oh, wow. What is going on with this car? So it's like
air brakes.
It's got, they're popped up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this thing's got fully deployed deployed air brakes. It just looks like a doorstop.
Yeah.
It does.
It does. It's how come Like
this one is like a little curvier. The DN4. That one's a little more curvaceous, a little sexier. The one that's just a straight up wedge. That's a 1969.
Yeah, check out the one with people in it, like that third image on the right. There, check that one out.
It's tiny.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, this guy's whole body is sticking out. The top of his of the car hits him in the rib cage.
So they campaigned a couple different cars over the years. It looks like. I mean, the engine in this on the wedge one, it had like a supercharger right next to the guy's head.
Those look very sketchy. Yeah, those look super sketchy. I like the vibe there.
They're selling crack the whole time, right? They're just handing it out to people like, hey, try this out.
Yeah.
Bring it to your neighbors.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, so unfortunately the rights to it currently are owned by a guy in Italy who's making sunglasses with the brand. And racing, I think he's racing European NASCAR.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But this, I love this brand. And then they teamed up. They with Interscope. They did some stuff together, UOP and stuff. So yeah, the history there is really cool, and the storytelling potential is amazing. So.
For sure, that's a cool one. Or you could go with like some Tyrrell, like 6-wheeled kind of craziness.
Yeah.
There's opportunities for weirdness here for sure.
There certainly is. There's no shortage of small brands that have kind of disappeared, and it'd be cool to bring them back.
Yeah,
you know,
and especially if you were to come up with some fun fictional history about them. I like it very much. Do we have anything on the Patreon?
Only a few.
Okay. What do we have here? Okay. We'll do a couple quick ones and then we'll get out of here. James Cowley says Myers-Manx has been made anew. Yeah, they've relaunched Myers-Manx. Phil Seraphim has gotten in there and is doing his thing. While old dune buggies are fun, they're still old. How would Oil Stain Lab Boys approach designing a surf check car? Does it start an OEM platform? That's interesting. How would you do a dune buggy?
Wow. Okay. Well, what they're doing is amazing. They gave us a tour.
Did they?
Really cool. Really cool.
They're down in Orange County, right?
Yeah, Costa Mesa.
I got to go check that out.
It's epic.
Apparently, people have really lined up to buy these fucking things too.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was business-wise a good decision.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything else, but yes, they're cool.
All right, Brad.
How we would do it? Yeah, I mean, I think nowadays I would start with an electric platform, a skateboard of some sort, and just do something that's really minimal, like almost no design. You know, one of my dreams is to just take like a container, like put an electric skateboard under it, and just like the ultimate urban like little box thing, like just no design at all, and just have the guts that.
Just a cube with wheels under it.
But I mean, it could be really cool with like all glass and really cool graphics like hidden behind the glass. So like when it turns on, it's more of like, I don't know, like an iPhone or something. The lights shine through the glass. Yeah. Then when it's like all closed, it's just a black obelisk. I don't know.
What if it was something like, those like those gems? Like they're like almost golf carts. It's halfway between a golf cart and a car. Yeah. That could be kind of fun to mess with.
Yeah.
My wife has a Nissan POW.
Okay.
That I think if it's almost like a Fiat Jolly. Yeah. And if you like took the doors off that and turned and did like wicker seats and shit, that could be the thing.
Yeah. I mean, Jollies are epic.
Yeah. They're worth $150,000 now.
It's crazy.
And my brother works with Canoe.
Oh, really?
So we should just get one of their platforms. And
if you turned a canoe into like a bathtub, like if you just cut it at the shoulder line and made it a permanent
fill it up with water.
Rolling hot tub.
That would be the shit. Yeah.
Just an umbrella.
That's the most expensive truck bed hot tub that's ever been
an actual drivable hot tub. That would be.
I wonder what the legality of that is.
Oh. I mean, a friend, so this, I don't even want to call him a friend. A guy I knew back in the day had a H1 Hummer.
Okay.
And it was the four-door Hummer, soft top, with the, not a wagon. It was the pickup bed, the short bed.
Okay.
And he literally turned that into a hot tub. Like, not like putting a tarp there and filling it with water. I mean, literally had a hot tub with jets made for this thing. Yeah.
In LA?
No, in New York, believe it or not. And he would roll around. It had a cover on it, so he could drive it with water in it, and then he would take roll the cover off, and there was the hot tub. It had a water heater. and it would heat up fucking
How
water.
often did he actually get in it and use it? Like,
it wasn't for him. It was for hose.
Right.
It was for hose to get in it.
And then when he could point to the car with the hose and be
he
like,
couldn't
"Look
even
what I
fit in it.
have."
He was this giant fucking meathead dude.
Was it a business thing?
I know the business he was in, and it wasn't the fucking hose in a hot tub business. His name was Dave Vitale, and he was a special investigator for the Maury Povich show.
Ooh.
He would catch people cheating and shit.
Okay.
And if you saw a picture of this guy, he couldn't blend anywhere but the Mr. Universe competition. Like, this guy couldn't. You look at this guy, you're like, all right, this guy's here doing something. He's not like no one. And he had a Hummer with a hot tub in it and a yellow Lamborghini Diablo with straight pipes. And I was like, who are you hiding from exactly with these vehicles?
Well, he spends his whole job is about being quiet and subtle and sneaking around. So he's like, my extroverted side.
Yeah,
is
it
this.
was nuts.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So yeah, I think a hot tub on wheels, an actual hot tub on wheels would be fun.
I'll write up the business pitch and let's do it.
Lucas wants to know what car manufacturer is the Rolex of cars. Dude, it's Porsche. It's got to be Porsche.
That's harsh.
Is that harsh on what, Rolex or Porsche?
Kind of both.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like Porsche innovates more. They've got like the electric cars now, which are, you know, kind of class leading. And like Rolex doesn't innovate.
Well, our new watch is also a watch.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point.
So I feel like from that point of view, Rolex would be more like Morgan.
That's cold.
Yeah.
In terms of quality, I mean, shoot, I don't know.
But Morgans are handmade. Rolexes are factory made.
Right, that's true. So old-fashioned handmade
or
factory-made car.
Yeah,
is what we're looking for.
Bentley 2002.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know, the car watch the thing. It seems to me that Rolex and Porsche are the same, because we talked about this a lot, because so many little things that regular people don't even notice on a Rolex, like putting the meters before the feet, or some of the words being in red. It's the same thing as like, oh well, my 911 is different because I've got silver seat belts, you know, and it's that kind of thing. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I can see that. Yeah.
But your point is well taken. Yeah. Aiden Squires, any plans or interest in applying your design language to motorcycles? It's a good question.
Yeah, we've been talking to a few people that want to rope us in on some stuff. So I think it would be fascinating. We've designed 2 Super 73s, but they were just like customs that we made for ourselves or whatever, and it's very different than a 4-wheel car. It's strange because for me, it feels very unstable having 2 wheels. Like even just drawing it, I feel like it's going to fall on the piece of paper and just like tip over. So people that sketch motorcycles like really well, I have mad respect for them because I can't.
I never thought of it as being like a totally different kind of skill.
I mean, it would be similar to like more like designing components in a way. Like I feel like there's really a big potential to design kind of a streamlined or a more unified motorcycle. Most of them are just like engine here, like cap here, aero cap here.
Well, there's a lot of exposure, whereas like the car body, like you're designing that, you're not necessarily designing the structure underneath, but with the bike, a lot of the times you can see the structure. So whether or not you can change that for aesthetic reasons, you know, there's a lot of engineering into that and a lot of those constraints. So that's a good point.
But in some ways, there's also a little more freedom, right? Because it's not like there's no crash testing and there's no
I guess I mean I don't have that much experience with it. We've done like side-by-sides and ATVs, that's the closest, but like I don't know how much freedom there's because you have to sit on it.
Right.
It has to be comfortable. Whereas in a car you're like inside.
I don't think it has to be comfortable. I've seen some really uncomfortable looking concept-y motorcycles before. Yeah, people have shit in their collection that looks totally unrideable, but they'll have 100 bikes.
One of my favorite bikes was a guy, GM, he was my design manager, Nicky Smart. He built this crazy like carbon fiber boardwalk racer thing.
Did he make The Ariel Adam?
He did, yeah.
Okay, sorry, continue. I was like, that name...
This guy went on to do Ariel.
I'm not good with names, but
no,
I was
he
like,
did that while
name.
he was like in college.
Yeah.
Coventry.
Really?
And his professor saw that and was like, that's a good idea. Do you want to make that? And he was like, what do you... And they went into business together.
Really? Oh,
and I
that's
guess
cool.
He still makes their Christmas cards that they send out to like all the customers, like a joke Christmas card. Yeah.
Oh, that's super cool.
That's
cool
interesting.
Sorry, I derailed. What did he design bikes though?
No, yeah, he did a bike when he was at GM, and it's really cool, and that like fired me up.
No.
I'd love to.
You ever do a boat?
Haven't done a boat.
A boat. See, a boat. I see opportunity with the boat.
That could be cool. Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot like especially like the kind of stuff I see on the 11. Like there could be a speedboat.
Yeah.
You know, like a Riva type speedboat story. That could be, or Chris Crafty cool. kind of thing.
Super cool.
Do you know Randy Grubb? You ever see Randy
Grubb?
The Blastoline guy?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
He did the Jay Leno's tank car, and he also did that amazing bus, the Deco liner, and he did these really cool little Vespas with these kind of like teardrop streamliner bodies on them. I drove that bus.
Oh wow, cool.
That bus has you could drive it from the roof. It has dual controls, and
like a boat.
Yeah, there's show the top deck, Zach, on the left there.
Oh no way.
That's the fucking rooftop drive. It's the fucking coolest thing ever.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was the dopest shit. I had more fun driving this thing at 30 miles an hour. It was awesome. Yeah, Randy, he's one of my favorite.
I like his, he's got like a purple hot rod, like, is it a Delahaye or something?
It's a Delahaye-esque thing.
With the glass grill.
Yes.
Oh, so cool. So cool.
That's the only one of his things that's ever been like fully painted.
Okay.
He's always, the rest has always been involved some, what is the name of that fucking thing?
There it is.
That's it. Yeah, the B702, second from the right, Zach. It's stunning. And you can't see in that photo, but the grill is made of vertically slatted glass.
What?
It's incredible.
Click that picture below that.
Yeah, that. Look at that. That's so fucking sick. God, I love Randy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Randy Grubb. He rules. That truck, the semi-truck he did too, with the twin-turbo fucking Detroit Diesel 12. Yeah.
This thing's so rad.
That thing is... Oh, that's before he put the stacks on it. It's better with the stacks. Yeah, there it is with the stacks. That's some Mad Max. Like, how did that truck not get cast in Mad Max?
It's not dangerous enough.
Right? Too fragile.
That's true.
It's too low and it looks too clean.
Yeah, boats could be where you're at. I think we had one question left before we wrap it up on today's Patreon. We'll save Joe. We'll save Joe's there, and
we could save that one.
We'll save that. Jake wants to know about my writing process, and Joe wants to know about station wagons, and we'll save those for the next Q&A show. We want to end on fucking Blastoline. Oh yeah, look at that. That Alpha GTV you did too, right? For Aether?
Yeah.
You guys did that? Yeah. Safari'd out an Alpha GTV 6?
Yeah, that's the...
Zach had to go in that. Zach got to drive it.
Oh, really?
I emailed you for a Road and Track article like 3 years ago.
Cool.
And then when I saw you're coming in, I was like,
the Road and Track pictures were epic.
Yeah, that cool. I don't remember the guy's name. Tyler, I think, that shot those. Yeah, that thing was really fun and really cool looking.
Did you really like driving it, or?
It was too slow, and I did not like the Dion suspension, or the rear end was annoying because while it had great ground clearance everywhere else, in the middle of the axle it had like 4 inches.
Yes.
So I had to be very careful about where I went in the sand because of that. Those were literally my only 2 complaints. Yeah.
It looks cool though.
Yeah, I mean it's like the successor to our GTV Safari car.
Oh yeah, didn't you guys bend that thing in half jumping it at Hoonigan?
No, so the story with that is AAA dropped it off the back of their truck on the way to maintenance. So we broke it then we made it a Safari, then we went on Hoonigan, then we broke it again, then we fixed it, and then we went to the desert, we broke it again, and we fixed it, and now it's still running.
Is it alive? It's alive now?
Yeah.
GTV Safari, very cool.
Yeah.
Those cars are awesome. That's just such a great design. Just never gets old.
So gorgeous. Everyone should go watch the video of you jumping it at Hoonigan. Whoever drove, I mean,
it was my brother.
It was special. It was like the T1000 getting shot.
I remember.
Like it hit and then just oil pan and other parts just went around.
Fucking yard sale.
So
it was great. Well, thanks for coming in. This was really interesting. I appreciate it. I can't wait to see what you guys do next. I would say go to oilstainlab.com, but a bunch of that shit is password protected. So just follow Oil Stain Lab Lab on Instagram.
That works.
And see if you can tell the difference between the truth and the fictional photos. I can't wait to see what you guys do next, man.
Appreciate it.
Really cool. Thanks for coming down. Yeah, we'll see all the rest of you next week. Have a great weekend.